'cause you make all my screws come loose. Gonna perfectly confuse. Find a way to let me up. G'day, guys. So, I was gonna go down to the beach today. Well, I was gonna actually go out to some wilderness location today, but what ended up happening was I left my keys in Shelby's car, and so since my keys were in Shelby's car, I couldn't actually drive anywhere. So I went op shopping, got this shirt, got these shoes that I'm wearing, pretty happy with these, and now Shelby's back, so I've got all my painting kit out of the car, and I'm gonna make this beautiful face of one of my favorite names on the planet. One of my favorite names, Fernando. So here we go. G'day Val, how we doing? There we go. And Jacob, I'm doing well. It is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. And we're on an unexpected location today. Let me know if the traffic's a little bit loud. I'm here on the porch. Ooh, a friendship necklace, that's exciting. And also let me know if the angle's any good, because at the moment, usually I paint with you on the other side, because on the other side you can, I'm not sort of going across the body, but let me know if going across the body gets annoying. But it should be fine, should be fine. There we go. Fernando from Shearsong. That's part of the reason why I like it. You got me. I think so. Not the same Fernando, but you get the gist. At least I don't think it's the same Fernando. It might be. Another name that ends in an O that I really like is Alejandro. But over the next few days, the fun thing is the portraits that I'm doing, there's Fernando and Christoph. And so these two lovely portraits that I'm doing of two really, really nice names. So it's fun. Ah, that was rude. Some guy was looking at me from across the road and I waved to him, but he didn't wave back. It's a great way to knock someone's self-confidence when they wave to you. If only he knew the damage he just did. There we go. So this is Fernando's portrait, by the way. And Fernando here is pictured in Munich. So you're going to see this tower behind him here. And a few Munich buildings around him, here and there. Hello, I can't pronounce that. Is Del Carmenized? Is Del Carmenized? It's probably based off the Netflix show, The Bear. If you haven't seen The Bear, it's well worth the hype. I was hyped out about that show coming out before it even came out. I just knew it was going to be good. I knew the actor. I had an inkling of what they were trying to do with the show. And so I was just really excited to see it. Axel, it's going well. What's good? At the moment, turquoise is good. That's what's good. And the shirt. Got this shirt today. Got it from a second-hand shop and I'm pretty happy with it. Lovely. Lots and lots of turquoise. Blow up the colours on it, then tone them back. That's my plan. I'm back on the plates too, team. Voila. Dylan. Oh, cheers, RC. Your favourite Kiwi's doing good. What was I going to say? Watch any sports. You know, I'm not much of a sports guy. But I'm going to give you a really cheesy reply when I say, whatever everyone else is watching and getting excited about, I want to get enthusiastic about that. Because if everyone else is buzzing about it, count me in. Sounds cheesy, but yeah. Rinny, unfortunately I can't paint on you. I paint on masonite with gesso on top. So, but there is this artist I follow on Instagram. He does works where he actually paints the human body. He does a really good job of it. I think he's a European guy in his 50s. I forget his name though. And RC, this is a painting, a portrait of Fernando. Fernando lives in Germany, so we're capturing his face here. Now, there's a couple of characteristics we want from Fernando as well. Fernando didn't just want to be, I mean, it's the likeness. The likeness is important, but we're after a few characteristics about Fernando. One of them being kindness. So in amongst this saturated explosion of colour, kindness is going to be important to capture too. And then on top of the kindness, what else would we like? I think we'll start with kindness and grow from there. That's a good plan. G'day, John. Hey, new profile picture and new hairstyle. I like where you're at. And Johnny is where? Now, for those who don't know, we're in a new location. We're on a porch today. The wind's a bit strong out front, and I was going to paint down by the beach, but like I said, keys were left in the car, decisions were made, and here we are. What I mean by that is I left my keys in Shelby's car, and then Shelby went to work, and while she was at work, I was getting ready to head out for a painting session, and lo and behold, I realised, you're not going anywhere. And in fact, you're also not painting, because it's all locked in the car. Well done, Sebastian. Planning ahead like an absolute champion. So I went op shopping and got this fantastic t-shirt. Happy days. Richardson, hello. And so now, you get my undivided evening attention. You guys do, and Fernando does, which I love. Fernando's got some facial hair here as well. So we've got him here grinning, staring off to the his right. For us, it's left. And he's staring off, kind of like he's not ignoring you, but he's captured something happy, like he's seen the next thing. And that's quite a nice element to Fernando. So he's got this look across the right, as if, who's been to Munich? Because if you've been to Munich in Germany, you'll know where the train station comes up. There's this clock tower there, and there's a few classic iconic pubs. If you come up out of there and you start to walk in amongst the city centre, it's a beautiful area. You start to walk, that same look you'd have when you stepped up and then glanced and smiled. Just you're on holiday, you're having fun. That's what we're trying to capture, that little moment there. Now, Lindsay, you are absolutely incorrect. These are some of the most fashionable things that we have in New Zealand. They're called stubbies. And I'm a huge fan. There we go. Fernando's got very, very thick hair. So we're going to capture that with big, thick blops of paint. G'day, Steve. How we doing? And Tim. And Zelo. How we doing? Stubbies? Yeah. So stubbies are pants that New Zealanders wear. And I don't know why the rest of the world doesn't adopt them. but they're a little bit shorter. So they come up a little bit higher on the thigh, but they're really, really good for everything you want to be doing, like the things you do in New Zealand, like mustering sheep, running around, I don't know, hopping over fences. Stubbies are the best. I remember when I went to America and I was wearing them at summer camp. Kids and staff were horrified. They're like, what are you wearing? They're a common Kiwi garment. In New Zealand, the Kiwi men wear shorter pants than the girls. G'day Chad, how are we doing? I love Picasso. I love Picasso. The reason I like Picasso too, his art, take it or leave it, that's not what's relevant here. He was very, very good at articulating his art. So he was able to talk about what he wanted to do, how he felt about creativity, how he felt about the arts in general, and liken it to the whole world and the world of art itself, and then react to it. So Cubism comes from a great painter. He invented an art form called Cubism. You need to not only be a great painter, but you also need to have the ability to connect and articulate yourself. He combined those two things. And you'd be like, well, that sounds like every famous person. Look at Van Gogh. He was a great painter, but he could not connect or articulate himself. And because he couldn't do that, it took longer for his work to be realized. It took longer than his life, actually. But Picasso was famous before he died. And it's interesting too to see Picasso and how he dealt with fame when you look at Van Gogh, who never had any fame. And I wonder, and this is an interesting thought experiment, and if you're trying to get some sleep, turn this off now, otherwise this will keep you up, because this does keep me up. Get Van Gogh and get Picasso and swap them around. Swap them around. So now you've got Picasso in a situation where he paints for 10 years in almost complete isolation, with no one acknowledging his work and no one wanting it. In fact, everyone openly telling him it's terrible. Would he do the same things? Would he invent Cubism? Or was that a reaction to his fame? And get Van Gogh and make him famous, make him world renowned, early on, and then make him paint like Picasso. Would he have done the same work, or would fame have changed him? And the reason why that'll keep you up at night, especially if you're a creative one, and I don't mean just for art, I mean for everything. If you were famous versus if everyone hated you, would you still do the same thing? And I think that's why when we talk about what you want to do and what your dreams are, Alan Watts, he's a philosopher, actually says it really well. He's a lovely philosopher, it's a big goatee. You can YouTube him or Google him, lovely voice. He says, well, what would you want to do if money were no object? And if money were no object, who would you be? Or what would you want to be? And I feel like that's the question you need to ask yourself to avoid the idea that if you were rich, you'd be different. If you were poor, you'd be different. If you had everyone liking you or hating you, you'd be different. You've got to avoid that. I feel like, I don't know why you have to avoid that, but I feel like you have to. I feel like you need to be true to yourself. I feel like that's a healthier way to be. Dali too, yes. Dali was incredibly aware of himself, possibly more than Picasso was. Dali, he did everything. He was like the Leonardo da Vinci of creativity. He made movies, he did sculpture, his house is a work of art. Like he went out of bounds. And polo, no, but I will. So, for the reasons you might be asking, the answer is off market. It's interesting you say that, because it would have been cool for Aristotle or Plato or Descartes to actually do some more paintings or artwork. I believe if they had the means, like painting was as readily available as it is today, they would have done more art. But it wasn't that easy. You had to really commit, and you also had to be a fantastic craftsman. They were prerequisites. Now anyone can paint, you're allowed to, but then you had to be great or don't go near a paintbrush. So a good example today though of someone, g'day mate. Yeah, I thought it was the right spot for it. People come by and ask me, and I try and sell them. Do you want a painting for $40?
I would love one, but can't afford it.
Oh, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, $35. Have a good walk.
50% worse.
Catch ya.
They won't even pay for like anything.
If he knew the deal I was offering.
Oh my God.
It's like if you were walking down the street and you completely different. If you were walking down the street and you offered someone like a. Okay, think about it like this as a thought. Going back to the previous thing. Once art supplies were readily available everywhere you went, a great example of someone who painted, but not as a painter, was Dr. Seuss. So if you remember those famous books, Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham and things, he did children's books with these underlying philosophies behind them. Well, he also, in his attic, after he died, they went up there and had a look through his stuff. He had endless amounts of paintings that no one had seen before because he had the ability to buy paint. So he painted. But sorry, going that conversation just then, a guy was walking down the street and he, you just heard me yakking with him. He's a uni student who I waved to. Anyway, I just offered him a painting for $40, which is outrageous, guys. You can't do that. But if you think about it, imagine Pollock walking down the street, and if he pulled up a random person and said to them, he said, all right, I have this board here, this cheap board, and I've put house paint on it, but I haven't just put it on it with a brush, I've splattered it. And I haven't chosen beautiful, colourful colours, I've just chosen quite mundane, actually, colours to throw on this. And I've just splattered them out relatively evenly. Do you want to buy it? And you'd be like, you could not pay me to take that. And if that was your reaction, you just turned down $150 million. And that is both the greatest beauty and the greatest absurdity of art. Let me come up here a little bit. There we go. We're up to scratch. This easel's one of those packed down ones. So I like it because I can travel everywhere with it. The legs come up into it. I think it came from, is it Gordon Harris? Gordon Harris. Just an art store in New Zealand. A lot of places will sell you a good easel though. I would say, just be careful, because I've bought, how many easels now? I've bought maybe 4 easels in the last 2 years, just because I like to have almost one everywhere to make sure that if I need them, they're there waiting for me. Anyway, 2 of them have been complete junk. One of them's okay, and this one is by far this is supposed to be my portable one. So I'm supposed to be able to go out, pack this one up small and take it with me anywhere, and then set it up. And it's supposed to be the most dinky, useless one. Well, this one is not only the most stable, it packs up to be the smallest. It's the most robust. It's just better on every single front. And so the question I ask myself is, why do I own anything other than these easels? And because I got tricked. I honestly got tricked. I thought the other ones looked more robust. They weren't. I thought the grass was greener. It wasn't. This is the best easel. So anyway, next time I'm buying an easel, I'm hunting down some more of these ones. Point being, guys, that classic saying, the grass is not always greener. It's not always greener. We like to think it is, and we are oh so very wrong. All right, pink time. Here we go. A little bit of that. Now, I hope you're enjoying this magenta, because this magenta is upwards of 4 times as much on all the other colors. It's a series, it's a tough to find pigment. It's a series 6 when the other ones are series like 1s and 2s. Not that that should govern how much you care about the color, but if you see this is the magenta in its raw form. This one here, I've just mixed it with white. I'll bring it right up here so you can see it. There we go. So you'd be like, you can get that out of a whole bunch of colors. You can, but to get that really, really nice deep magenta that makes this luscious pink, and I'm not talking about, what I mean is, have you seen pink before and it looks tacky? See how this looks luscious? It doesn't look tacky, it doesn't look dry. I know it's wet right now, but it'll dry in that wet form. If you're wondering why your pinks, or why an artwork you've purchased, maybe the pinks don't really pop, part of the reason behind that is there's regular pinks, and then there's like magentas that cost 6 times as much. And from the artist's perspective, you've got to blow the bank on the magenta, because it shows if you don't. But more importantly, it shows when you blow the budget on it. Like, I can tell straight away. I love deep, vibrant pinks. And I can tell straight away, I'm like, that is a high quality pigment. Give me, give me, give me. And plus, even if the work's not for sale, guys, it's great to look back and see in your old works, to not think, oh, I wish I'd use a slightly bit of pigment there. Just be able to look at it and go, yes, that's beautiful. Not for the rest of the world. Forget the rest of the world. I'm sure there's lovely people in it, but in this case, do it for you. Spoil yourself with some high quality pigments. You know, when people go out and buy themselves makeup and things. You know, I go out there and get myself some good quality pigments. And I sit there in the car driving home, just like patting my bag of paint, which costs like an obscene amount of money because I bought all the expensive pigments, but I'm sitting there thinking, worth it, totally worth it. Problem is, if you know there's a bit of pigment out there too, you'll sit there painting with the one you settled for, dreaming of the one you wanted. Kind of like a lover, I suppose. Maybe we'll make that into a reel. Pigments are like lovers. We won't. That's a... Here in Houston, we hold an annual arts festival. Lots of painters creating right here on the street. It's pretty fun. Oh. Have I got a call coming in here? There we go. Fixed. Lovely. All right, Chad, with the daily pun, here I come. Seb, I quit my job to pursue my passion in archaeology. My career is in ruins. Well, if you want to get it back on the right, if you want to get it back on the right track, Chad, dig deep. But that being said, talking about arts festivals, yeah, the first response back at you, Chad. Talking about art festivals, I'm going to one art battle, the finals in April, I think it is, but I'm not battling. April 12th? April 12th. I'm going to an art battle on April 12th, but I'm not battling. So there'll be artists who are battling. I'm not one of them. There's going to be 4 feature artists, and I'm one of them. So what we're doing is we're around the whole day like not up for 20 minutes. We're just painting the entire day. So here's my idea, because I'm like, we could just do a painting. That'd be cool. How about we do a audience join in fun thing? So I was thinking, what if I bring out a bunch of paint, a bunch of plates, an empty canvas, and a picture of some description, and each person who comes up that I'm yarning with, I can give them a bit of paint and a plate, and they can add to it. And over the course of the evening, the audience will create a work. I'll help, obviously. I'll get the paints ready. I'll, ask people to do certain bits and attack certain spots. But on the whole, the audience will make it. And I think that'll be beautiful. I think that'll be fun. And if it doesn't work at all, everyone had fun. So it's not like I'm going along there to make a masterpiece. Maybe I should be. I mean, no one's going to remember that. No one's going to be like, I went to art battle, saw Seb there, and he didn't make a masterpiece. How dare he? I think that'd be a bit rough, actually. So, we're having some fun. Ooh, I love this question. Best tips on promoting art? Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to promoting art, and I'm actually working on a course for this, so you guys don't get inundated with artist help stuff. When it comes to promoting art, a lot of artists like to think that they want to get their art and make it and have someone else sell it, and they don't want to put themselves out there, and they use the excuse, I love this is a red flag, I need to concentrate on making the art, not selling it. Totally get it, I love that. But actually, and yes, you can have someone who helps you sell it, but actually, what it is a shield that you've put up. What's most important for the artist to do, if you really want to make art, great, you make beautiful art, you've learned to be vulnerable with your craft. Now you need to do it in person. You need to connect with people, be vulnerable and be exposed in a way that they can actually see who you are. Because this here is just a portal or a conduit where you need to link through the art to another person. And you help that other person understand your art so much better if they can see through the art to who you are as well. And so many artists want to hide who they are because they think it's ugly. Newsflash, you can't make beautiful art if you're an ugly individual. There's something beautiful about you that's making beautiful art. And so the ability to actually show who you are, and that doesn't mean jumping on social media and posting on Instagram. Not every artist is there. Some of the artists are. It's not for everyone. It's a wild west out there. But actually, you might do well at farmers markets. People who walk past your stall with your art out there, and you can smile at them and say, hey, what's your name? I'm John. And you can have a conversation. And then they can actually think, actually, you know what, John? I've just had a child, or I've got a new partner, or my mum's birthday's coming up. I would love a piece of art. That one's perfect. I'll take that. They wouldn't have had that reaction had you not actually engaged with them as a person. Eye contact, smiles, care about the individual. If you don't care about them, why would they pay money to buy something you had created? That's outrageous. And so, I feel as a premise as an artist, always come back as a foundation to, what do I care about? Is it myself or is it something else? Because if it's yourself, there's way better careers. There's trust me, if you care about you, hedge fund manager, that's a good start. In fact, I'll tell you what, there's a whole bunch of careers where with 6 years of study, you can have 5 cars, a 5-story house. You can really do it. 5 years can go a long way if you study right. But what I'm saying here is if you're going to be an artist, you're selling a product which captures emotion and expression. You have to care who's having that product. You can't say, that's got nothing to do with you. That's all that matters. So if you want to promote your product, start caring about the person who cares about your product. Really caring about them. That's a good way to start. Rant over. Sorry, guys. But I'm passionate about that because I hear a lot of artists, when we talk about our art, it's the same narrative and it's the wrong narrative. It's It's a shield more than it is a problem. It's a psychological barrier they've imposed on themselves, and it's only stopping other people out there from being able to connect with them and therefore love art. There is way too many white walls in this world that are getting sometimes covered with generic reproductions of craft, which is okay, but there are so many walls in this world that need true, authentic, raw, expressive art on them. And they're just waiting, if you're an artist, for people like you to actually connect with real people out there and show them how you can bring more happiness and joy to their lives. I mean, arguably, you've got a responsibility. Here we go. Alfie, do you find that your indoor paintings end up different, ... than ones painted outdoor? Yeah, I do. I do. And what changes about them is if I paint indoors, I can get away with it for a couple of sessions. But at a certain point, am I painting indoors because it brings out this chaotic, wild, primal expression in the painting? Or because it was easier and I can hide a little bit and I can control everything? That third word is dangerous. I start controlling things. I start thinking there's no wind, there's no humidity, there's no strangers, there's no changing light conditions. I have control. Well, as soon as you try and grapple with a painting and gain full control, you just lost it. And for some reason, you'll find why under conditions that are strenuous, with wind, with heat, with strangers, with waves, with tides coming in, with the sun going down, why in these wild conditions can I create masterpieces, yet in a studio with control, somehow things fall to bits? Because accepting the chaos is the only real control you can ever have over a painting. So yeah, you can get away with it inside for a bit, but you have to go back out into the chaos, because the more chaos you welcome on in, the more you'll lose the sense that you need to strangle the painting and make it what you want, and the more you'll embrace exactly what it is and what it's becoming, and it's much healthier. You will ruin some paintings. You will ruin some paintings. That is a cold hard fact. But think of what you stand to gain. Imagine. I remember I was working on a piece for Steve actually, and it's called Two Cowboys. It was a picture of Steve and his son. They're both dressed in cowboy outfits with barrels around them. And I started that painting in what's arguably been the most trying conditions of 2023. And the wind was so strong, I needed to get tape that was like duct tape, 3 times stronger than this. And I had to wrap the canvas, the easel, to a pole to stop the wind from blowing it away. It was so strong that the masonite board that I was using, was flexing around, like a concave surface. I was getting blown around the dock. The paint was drying immediately on my tray, and multiple times I thought to myself, this is too much. This is too much. We should just stop. And it's that same thing that you feel when you're a runner or a sportsman of some, physical activity. You're like, I can't do this. It's the runner's wall. And you push past that and you keep going. And I remember I woke up the next morning and I saw the panel there with the artwork that we'd made out with these incredibly trying conditions. And I looked at this panel and I thought, that is a wonderful piece of art. It's not finished. It's miles away from finished. But by God, there was no way we could have produced that in the studio. We are so lucky that wind was as strong as it was, that the sun was going down so we were running out of time, that we were surrounded by choppy water because I went down to a wharf for some wild reason. Most lucky of all, that on that particular day I packed my tape, because if the tape wasn't there, it was downhill. We would have lost the easel. And if we had, lesson learned, would have been fine. Things like, I remember that stream, that was wild. And we made a wonderful piece. Now, we did bring that painting inside, if you remember, but only after we started it with chaos. If you start it and infuse the base coat with chaos, you can then go, g'day guys, you can then go into the further layers and still ride that wave of chaos to completion. Sometimes you'll start adding paint and you'll think, no, we have to go back outside. We have to brave the elements. Cheers, Steve. It's a pretty fun one too, because it's painted with it's framed with a raw wood, and not the typical flat kind. It's thicker, and so it's got this thick raw wood look to it, which I feel like reflects really well on the barrels that are in it. So it's fun. Cheers, pallets. Appreciate you joining in, and I'll hopefully catch you next time. If I don't, been a pleasure having you, and get some sleep. Speaking of phones about to die, I've started a brand new technique, guys. So I've been getting way too addicted to my phone. Just checking things non-stop, getting jittery and even anxious about thinking I need to be checking my phone. So I was going to get a second phone and then have one work phone and one private phone. And then, so I was dabbling with all these different ideas, and then I realized, and you're all gonna be like, of course that's the answer, you idiot, that was always an option. Well, it's not obvious, okay? Turn it off. And so when I go places, I'm walking somewhere, I'm spending time with someone, don't just, sleep it and put it in your pocket. Turn it off completely. And you'll be surprised how many times, especially you're in a social situation, a restaurant, a bar somewhere, you pull it out. I'm just going to do a quick little check. I just want to get that little rush when I see those notification symbols. Oh, it's off. And then you avoid the thing. Kind of like imagine having a pack of cigarettes. What if you just didn't have the lighter? You'd keep remembering the cigarettes, but you wouldn't be able to light one. Well, my phone was almost like a cigarette for me. Agree, realtor? Great advice. Great advice. Hello, by the way. But for me, turning it off and actually going through periods with it off during the day is an absolute lifesaver. And with one huge benefit of conserving battery, because you still run the battery out. I run a Samsung 23 Ultra, and I'm constantly running out of battery. So I'm not using my phone any less, but I'm targeting the locations in which I use it, which is fantastic. Erica. And hello one more time, Jax. Does the different lighting affect the colors you use? Yeah, absolutely. So some artists love controlled lighting. They need their studio, blah, blah, blah. I had one guy getting really upset with me when I was doing a large portrait painting. I was wearing pink sunglasses like Elton John, and I was wearing them because I felt like I looked like Elton John, and I thought I was cool. So anyway, I was wearing these sunglasses while I was doing the painting, and they had this little benefit for me because what they would do is I'd see everything in pink, so I'd use less pink and explore different color palettes for the painting. Because you can see right now on this face, I'm using a lot of pink. I always do. Anyway, I was wearing these sunglasses. He got really upset in the comment section saying no self-respecting artist would wear sunglasses while he's trying to understand color. And I came back really respectfully and I said, look, in this case here, it's having this effect for me, but at the end of the day, again, that control over exactly seeing it in the exact same light, this is just another way that you want to strangle the painting and try and control it. Try to avoid that. Try to accept that actually, you know what? Different lighting conditions will be different. Sometimes it'll be dark, sometimes it'll be bright, sometimes it'll be morning, sometimes it'll be night. And you're like, well, how am I supposed to get the perfect green? You've got a really good set of eyes and a really good brain. And so yes, I get it. It's a little bit darker today. The sun's out a little bit strong. The wind's blowing. Maybe the shadow's been cast a little funny. Trust yourself. I've had very few occasions where I've come out of a painting set going, God, I wish I got that green right. If you concentrate and you believe in yourself, you get the right greens, the right pinks, the right blues. And even more than that, you say, oh, well, how could you tell with your eyes? You use these pigments and these colors so often. You could almost mix colors with your eyes closed. If you gave me a bunch of, and in fact, that would be a fun reel. I should prove this. Okay, get some paint tubes and blindfold the artist and then say, make teal. And you'd be like, right, is this the blue? Is this the yellow? Right, about that much, and a little bit, yeah, and mix. That should be teal. You're used to the pigments and the viscosities and the paint and its flow that much that I back myself to land at the very least, all the secondary colors without a heartbeat. And then we can start talking about the turquoises, the teals, the, specific royal purples and things. You know what? If we were having fun, I'd bet money on that. I would bet, if I was, a betting man watching myself, I'd be like, right, that guy will mix the color. I reckon you'll make your money back. I reckon that's not a bad idea, Erica. Blindfold the artist and see if they can mix the colors. Tomorrow I log on to Instagram and 10 other artists have stolen the idea. I'm like, oh no. That's why you don't jump on a live session with 67 strangers from all around the world. Not strangers, guys, you're all mates. But jump on a live stream with people all around the world and start giving away your ideas. No. If you are listening and you're wondering for real ideas, and I give you one on this channel, you are more than welcome to use it. 100%. The only thing I ask, if you get inspiration for online content from this live session, the only thing I ask, one thing, please, tag me in it so I can watch what you did. That's all I want. That's all I need, baby. Now, this background here is full of clouds. There we go. Here we go. Beautiful. Here we go. We're going to grab a bit of ultramarine blue now. It was the first layer. You can see it poking out a few spots, but I need ultramarine blue to darken some of these shadows, especially on this beard here. Temptation is to dive into colors like brown when you're doing darker tones on skin and beards, but if you do that, the whole picture can get quite sinister or negative quite fast. And being that we're trying to capture kindness in this picture more than anything, that would be preferable to avoid. Now, manganese blue. Okay, this is interesting. There we go. Beautiful. I'll get a little bit of both the blues. So that way, towards the end, I can mix them together and go from there. Paint and red lighting and see how it looks. Yeah, fair enough. It's funny you say that because I actually have a lightsaber, and the old school OG team will remember this. Who remembers the lightsaber I'd bring out and shine on the artwork to see it from different color palettes? Because that's still relevant to do. I just forget to charge it all the time. Can you paint yourself and send it to me? It would be the most beautiful piece of artwork. Well, I appreciate that. But you know what? I reckon there's a million other things more beautiful and special than that. And you could have any one of them. So if you're going to go for a commission, I would suggest getting something of real personal value or significance to you. Something that you can look at every day and just feel like a warm, do I say it? A warm, fuzzy feeling. Something special. The kind of thing that you don't get bored of looking at. That's why a lot of people ask for paintings of families and loved ones, because you don't get bored of that. You constantly see other little Easter eggs and moment in it. Yeah, alright. Well, I'll tell you what. When you have a painting like that, and you're still looking at it in 15 years' time, you let me know. Because in 5 years' time, my hairline is going to be back on the halfway back on my head. My knees are going to be packing up. I'll be a little bit more wrinkly and a wee bit more grumpy. You might have wished you went for a beautiful picture of the wharf you used to go to when you were growing up, or the view from the batch that you had when you were a child and you'd run down to the dairy to get candy. Point I'm making here is, I think, as a society, our opinions of what really matters to us, or what we like on our walls, have been skewed. And I think we get told, more subliminally than anything else, we get told what to like, what we should cover our walls with, what we should think is beautiful. And that's dangerous, guys. Beauty, and we occasionally hear it, oh, beauty's subjective. It's more than that. It's something that you decide for yourself. And that's not just in beauty in people and other Homo sapiens on the face of this planet. That's beauty in terms of what you want to put in your house, what art you care about. As if someone else could tell you what you believe a good expression of emotion is. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. If you love it, go for it. That goes into art, home furnishings, the way you structure the place where you live, and the people who you love. If you like it, you go for it. And the premise is outrageous that me saying that would even seem like something that needs to be heard. That is an indictment on 2024. But maybe you didn't need to hear it. Maybe you already know it, which would be fantastic. You don't need a 31-year-old wild painter to tell you you're allowed to love what you want, be who you want to be, and put whatever kind of art you want inside your own house. But if you did need to hear it, now you've heard it. And I wish you the best of luck for the rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. There we go. Imagine all the people living for today. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Telegram. That is a app that a TikTok supervisor told me to download. Cheers, Pink. You're an absolute legend. Is it hard to paint? It's a good question. Is it hard to build houses? Is it hard to be a plumber? Is it hard to be a psychologist? Is it hard to be a nurse? I think all professions, careers, pursuits of any kind have their own unique challenges. And in that sense, I think the rewards you get from painting, in terms of how it makes you feel, is worth every penny of what's difficult about it. In the same way, I think a nurse would tell you the same thing. Yeah, there's challenges in it, but it's immensely satisfying. And I think painting's like that. I think you paint because you have to paint, because there's something in you that feels right when you do it. And because of that, you find a way to make it work. And that's art in a nutshell. Let me come up here. Probably exaggerate some features. We could do that, but I'm not an expressionist painter. Although some people define the art like that sometimes. Not that it really matters either way. I'm not an expressionist painter, I'm an impressionist. Now the difference is, expressionist paintings like Scream, the one of the character, try and over-exaggerate or defy or deny reality in order to express feelings they think they can better express without adhering to reality. Impressionism is a little bit different. Impressionism believes that actually you can get an impression of the subject and then the medium itself will limit or create what that impression will look like. So in this case here, we have paint, bold, loose pigments that we're applying straight from the tube, and using that in a very rudimentary tool and a plate and just time, we create this impression of the subject. Now we're not trying to create the expression of the subject, a wild thing like that. I'm trying to capture an impression of Fernando. And there's a very big, subtle, but big difference. So, a lot of art's beautiful because it's full of expression, and that's great. But when we talk about character, an individual, and connecting with a painting or caring about a painting, that's an impression. See, Scream has amazing emotion in it. If you remember the Scream painting, of course it has amazing emotion. But does anyone care about it? Or is it just a good example of anxiety and horror or fear? Probably just that no one connects with that painting on a deep, fundamental level. But if we look at something like Starry, Starry Night, here's something different. If you look at that painting of Van Gogh's, Starry, Starry Night, people feel that painting, feel love for it, because he's captured not the expression of a night, but the impression of a night. And because of that, it twigs your emotions to connect with it, and you see value in that. You care about that more. There's value in both, obviously. Scream's a very famous painting, but if we talk about actually your emotional side of you caring, that's impressionist work. Good morning from the UK. Super colourful. Thanks, Karina. And hello in Thailand. Welcome on in. Let's grab some white, actually. Wa-ta-ta. Lots of white. Let's get some baby blue up in this show. Up in the sky. There we go. Crisscrosses in there. Beautiful. I just want you to know that you're my favorite girl. I don't think I've done a paint set consecutively for a fortnight without singing that Imagine All the People song. There we go. Sorry for falling silent there, guys. This is quite an important part of the whole structure of the face, so I'm trying to make sure I do it that beautiful justice that it deserves. Fernando's got quite a... Fernando's face, although he has this beard here, as you'll see, cutting down quite a striking feature, he has a lot of beauty around his neck here. There's a muscle immediately coming down here. And then as he looks to the side here, there's a subtlety in it. We don't want a chiseled Hercules style jaw. We want this chiseled jaw embodied with kindness as well. That's what we're after. And so I'm trying to be very, very careful. I probably explained that very poorly, but I have to be very, very careful that I concentrate where this paint goes. Because it's a fine line between the ferocity of someone like Hercules and the kindness. So I'm trying to make sure I get that kindness built through it. Because like I say, that's fundamentally what we're after. Beautiful. Now some more of that in the sky and we're away. Hey Julio, how we doing? And g'day David, Ash. Ooh, Matthew all the way from California. Hello. Hey guys, pretty exciting here. If anyone is keen, we are on 399 team members. So if you're keen to be number 400, I would love to have you. One recent change I did was if you are a team member, it'll send you an invite to the Discord channel. Hey, there we go. Hey Mac, welcome to the team. It'll give you an invite to the Discord channel. Now, there's a difference though. If you're a team member, you're one of the everyone team. And if you're a subscriber, you'll still have the subscriber tag, and so there'll be that difference there. But yeah, Discord, we're all learning here. Ooh, nightlife and flashy lights. I mean, maybe that's what Fernando's into. I don't know. I know he likes the gym. I know or at least he goes to the gym. I don't know whether he likes it or not. I know he is a kind individual. His friends tell him he's a kind individual, which is always a great sign. If you say yourself you're a kind individual, that could be a red flag. But if your friends tell you that you are, it's likely you are reasonably selfless. It's likely you are doing things for others. It's likely that you are caring about others. If you're a battler, there we go. Check some of that in there. Slowly build this tower up. There we go. Beautiful. And then right up the top there. Get a little bit more white through it, and then down here. Beautiful. Lovely. Beautiful. Hey Tremor, how we doing? All right, let's go for, we got a bit of light left. We'll keep dabbling with the light, team. Dabbling with the light. I'm running out of space on my plate, so we start to charge headlong towards a decision. Do we grab a new plate, or do we call it quits? I think we'll go for a bit longer. We've got some fun colors coming in here. I think the next one's going to be We've done our wild palette. We've got a little bit of yellow at the back there, but mainly we have those pastel pinks, well, pastel magentas, and pastel blues, pastel ultramarine blues. But the next step now is a colour I rabbit on about in every single work, and it is a very, very important colour. I think old masters used to say, yes, that's fine, but where's your Naples? Naples yellow. This colour here is an absolute powerhouse. Now, don't get it twisted though. We're not using Naples yellow because we want a skin tone. That's not what's happening. Naples yellow adds this warm yellowish hue through a painting without bringing in that stark primary yellow. So we can use it to embellish a warm feeling in a painting without actually affecting the color palette. You see how stark and powerful this yellow is through it? Naples yellow is not going to team up with that yellow. It's just going to have this lovely overarching passive effect to the whole work. Basically, if you're ever stuck on what to add, you can always lean on a bit of Naples and you'll be okay. Here we go. Not be afraid to add big strokes and to get too caught up doing little strokes and the whole painting looks like a rice bag that fell over. That's not what we're after. We're after a painting that has big, bold strokes.